Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sovereign Artsakh. I am Michael. I am non-Armenian, but I am so focused on Armenia that I'm going to change my last name, add an IAN to it, and maybe get a DNA test and fabricate it and force the genetics of Armenianism into my DNA. Not possible. I know. I'm just obviously being absurd, but you might as well call me Armenian because all the Turks and Azeri detractors on this channel, they just think I'm paid off by Armenians, and I welcome that, Armenians. If you, we will have a way for you to contribute and be a part of this project financially at some point in the near future, as I mentioned in the last episode. But today, all I'm going to talk about today is this one. We're going to do a little trolling of the trolls. And where did I find it? It was in. Where is it? Not there. Oh, right here. All right. This video, why do some Turks attack objective non-Armenians? There's one of the commenters who has been called a troll. Well, not a troll, a robot, a bot. In other words, that's not a real human behind it. It's just an algorithm that some Turkish uh, internet hub where there's a bunch of people in rooms just searching the internet and continuing the denial of the genocide, right? And it's programmed, and because this guy copies and pastes the same thing in Kuvikina, Kuvikina, whatever, this same quote or alleged quote from Hovhannes Kajan, Kajaznuni. And the first, let me just go to who that is. It's this guy. He the first prime minister of Armenia from 1918, 1919, for a little over a year. So this quote, I read a little bit about it, but let's just read it here. Kuvikina, motivation, busting your lies. Busting my lies, apparently, is what he's saying. Hovannes, from his manifest. We ought to have used peaceful language with the Turks, whether we succeeded or not, and we did not do it. We did not do it for the simple reason, no less culpable. I don't, the English there doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why there's this big space, and I don't know what it means. Hyphen, no less, big space, then culpable hyphen. That we had no information about the real strength of the Turks and relied on ours. This was the fundamental error. We were not afraid of war because we thought we would win. And then he makes an attack. You win your one-way ticket for your demise, our Moronian, Armenian, but a moron, our Moronian, or whatever. So he's trying to be funny and attack. Basically, he said we tried to copy the same actions that happened to 6 million Balkans and Eastern European Turks in 1912, but we failed. Silly losers. I don't know about this part back here, but so what this troll or bot is asserting from this quote is that the Armenians brought it upon themselves. The word culpable here is what stands out to me. We and first of all, my response will go to what Wikipedia at the bottom says right here. Atarian, who's a scholar, Armenian scholar, the Turkish denialists are the ones who talk most about Kachaznuni, and they use texts and falsified translations that have nothing in common with the originals. Whatever the Turk denialists present about K is wrong and a lie. Kachaznuni never denied the genocide and never betrayed his homeland. All right, so obviously an Armenian historian is going to say that, and Wikipedia can be unreliable, but nobody's taken this down. Wikipedia is this self-edited location, and uh, whether it's what I think Kuvikina is making a very insidious, or exposing himself. Kuvikina is exposing his own insidious spirit, or the spirit of denialists, by using this, because what this says, we ought to have used peaceful language. He's saying because they didn't speak kindly to the Turks, that it was okay for the Turks to massacre them, right? And the analogy I can think of is, say there's a smart little nerdy kid in classroom, and then there's the bully kid, and the smart nerdy kid gets a good grade and the bully kid gets a bad grade, and the smart nerdy kid casts a I don't know, a sneer at the bully kid and says, "Oh, too bad, you should have studied," or something like that. And then the bully kid catches up to the smart nerdy kid and pummels him into the ground. And because the smart nerdy kid spoke didn't speak peaceful language to the big bully, right? Okay, that analogy actually fails, because the true analogy is, the if the bully kid were the son of the teacher, and the bully kid goes to the teacher and said, that smart nerdy kid criticized me, and the teacher handed the bully kid a gun and said, go kill him, and then the bully kid goes out and shoots the kid dead. That would be the analogy. Because the smart nerdy kid didn't use peaceful language with the bully kid, that the authorities sanctioned his murder, right? So that's what is being asserted in this quote. Because we didn't speak peacefully, it's okay that we massacre you. Obviously, it's much more complicated than that. The Armenians had been oppressed for a century at least. It was illegal for Armenians to own guns. Or you take away their guns, it's easy to kill them. They were taxed at a higher rate than other citizens. They were suppressed and oppressed, massacred, and genocided. Maybe I'm coining a new version of the term. They were genocided because they didn't speak kindly to the Turks. I'm just going to end this episode with a reflection on Armen Garo, because it ties in here, because Armen Garo was in his final meeting with Talat, because they were both in the government. They started in the Ottoman parliament the same year. They were both elected to office from their respective provinces, and uh, Talat muscled his way into the heights of power. I mean, he killed somebody. Like, he literally, killed a government affair. He killed the minister of war, and then forced the Grand Vizier to modify a document. Um, he forced the Grand Vizier to abdicate his position, saying it was, and the modification was the military. The document said it was a military coup, but uh, Talat said, no, the people and the military wish this to happen. That's a tangent. But in their last meeting together, Armen Garo and Talat had a heated exchange. And Garo reflected the same sentiment as Hovinus here. He demonstrated hubris, an arrogance, a belief that the Armenians would survive, and that he just didn't believe that the Turks would use the full force of the government to massacre them. And after it happened, he realized perhaps he pushed Talat too far. Perhaps he himself was complicit, right? The culpable, right here, the word says culpable. Was Armen Garo culpable? Well, in a sense, you could say yes. If he pushed Talat focused. The beginning of the genocide happened in Armen Garo's own province, Erzurum province. In other words, Talat wanted to get Garo because Garo escaped, and the genocide started in earnest, chronologically in earnest. The systematic massacre of women and children. Every living Armenian was massacred. It started in Armen Garo's province, and so I don't think Garo caused the genocide by speaking unkind words, but he may have caused it to have. He may be responsible for where it started, because he was from there. Does that give them the right? Does that give that, because the teacher in the classroom hands the gun and gives the authority to the bully to kill the nerdy kid? It's evil. It's absolutely immoral because the kid spoke. You know, maybe he was arrogant in his heart. It doesn't justify these actions. All right, that's enough. Share this video. I know it was rambling, but I've got to address this nonsense. So